Good morning and welcome to 5 Minutes of God, where for 5 minutes I get to share with you God's truths and His will for humanity without religious bias, ethnic bias, gender bias, political bias, or national bias. And for just a moment, I want to talk for about 5 minutes from the subject, seeing God in your storm. Seeing God in your storm. And I want to talk from this particular subject because so many of us are dealing with our own personal storms. I mean, we're dealing with financial issues. We're dealing with the loss or potential loss of job. You know, the job is talking about laying offs, and we feel like we're going to be impacted by that. We're dealing with health issues. I mean, we're dealing with marital problems. Some of us are dealing with, family members or loved ones that are abusing drugs and alcohol. Some of us have children that are consumed by the streets, and they're just hell-bent on staying out and doing things that are contrary to what you've taught them to do. What I'm saying is that many of us are dealing with our own individual storm, and though our storms to others may not seem to be at the level that other people may be dealing with, our storms are our storms. And I've heard it said that, the knock doesn't come quite as hard until it knocks at your door. So this morning I want to talk with you and share with you because so many of us feel as if we're not seeing God in our storms. We feel as if we're going through this thing alone and God is just nowhere to be found. But I want to help you this morning to realize that God is with you in your storm. And I want to help you to be able to see God in your storm. Many of us miss God in our storms because we're looking for God, and we're looking for God in supernatural, earth-shaking, earth-shattering blessings. I mean, we're looking for the unexpected checks in the mail. We're looking for that job to call, when you've been unemployed and this, you've been waiting and praying and fasting for a job. You're looking and you're wanting to see God in that company calling and offering you a job. We're looking to see God in our storms by, when that car is on its last leg and it's breaking down. We want to see God in the storm by, providing and replacing that old car with a new car. I mean, many of us, that are dealing with health issues, we feel like we want to see God in the form of the doctor saying that, sir, ma'am, you are miraculously healed. I don't know where it came from, but you no longer have that cancer. You no longer have that disease that you're dealing with. So many of us are looking, in our storms, we want to see God deliver our husbands or our wives from their addictions to drug or pornography or whatever it may be, whether it be alcohol or whatever the situation may be. But we're missing God because we're looking for the large things, and we're overlooking the simplicity of God. We're overlooking the fact that He's with us in our storm, even though the things that we are desiring of aren't necessarily manifesting themselves. And I know that it's difficult sometimes when, you have this one issue that you're dealing with, and you need relief in that particular issue. And it seems as if God is not providing you the solution or the relief that you need. And I imagine, because I've gone through it myself, it's hard to see God in those moments. It's hard to see beyond your situation in those moments. But I want to help you to see God in your storm by reminding you that in spite of what you're going through, that God is still sustaining this earth, and in fact He's still sustaining you in your storm. So I want you to know that God is still with you, and if you can look in the mirror and see yourself, then you're able to see God in your storm. I want you to know that as long as God is allowing you to inhale and exhale oxygen, even in your storm, that He's with you, and that you should be able to see Him. If you look in your mirror, you'll see Him in your storm. See, somebody somebody need to know that, yes, God is with you, because, if you look around, there are so many people that have lost their minds. But the fact that you can look at yourself and recognize yourself should remind you and should allow you to see God in your situation. Sometimes, you can't look for the unexpected bills. Sometimes you just got to look in the mirror and be able to see yourself and realize that it's because of God. It's because He's in you that you can see you. I hope that I'm talking to somebody. You've got to be able to recognize that even though the situation is tough, that your good days certainly outweigh your bad days. And to be able to look at that situation and realize that it's only because of God, irrespective of how difficult, how challenging it is right now in your life. Somebody miss God because you are expecting God's will to align with your will. You wanting your ways to be His ways, and you're wanting Him to provide you the things that you desire. So when that's not happening for you, you're missing the fact that God is still sustaining you, and He's with you. And if you open up your spiritual eyes, sometimes you got to close your natural eyes. But if you would open up your spiritual eyes, you will be able to see that God is still blessing you with the strength to run on, so that you can see what the end is going to be. Just look at yourself and you're able to see God in your storm. When you wake up in the morning and you're able to open your eyes and see, you should be able to see God in your storm, in the fact that you have sight. Somebody needs to realize that the moment you're consciously awake and you're able to inhale and exhale oxygen, the fact that you're able to see your lungs compress and depress, that represents the fact that you're able to see God in your situation. Somebody needs to realize that when you're able to get up out of your bed in the morning and your legs don't give away on you, beloved, it's because God is with you. And the fact that you're able to walk and you see your legs moving about should remind you and allow you to see God in your storm. Somebody don't realize that God is in your storm with you, and you should be able to see Him based on the fact that when a loved one says to you, I love you, that you can hear. That lets you know, beloved, that God is with you in your storm. So this is what I want to leave you with. I've said it repeatedly, but just to hammer it in, I want you to know that when you feel as if you can't see God, I want you to go to the mirror. Go to the mirror with gratitude and just tell yourself, I'm able to see God because I'm able to see me. Because there's no me without God. And if there's no me without God, then irrespective of what I go through, I'm able to see God in my storm. Beloved, I love you, I thank you, and I appreciate you taking the time to allow me to share with you what God has given for His people. I love you, and until next time, goodbye.